Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, the Hex God from NYC, and your coach of the Chicago Bewears, Razor here. And today, I'm going to be coming at you with our draft analysis for our NPL Season 7 draft. And if you guys did not know this, this is going to be my 7th season drafting and playing in the NPL. I've been here since Season 1, longer than anyone else. I'm the veteran here. I'm also not that good, but the league just progressively keeps getting tougher and tougher as the seasons go by, and this season I think it's definitely really tough. I think it's a ridiculously tough season, but I think we can maybe overcome this. I think we can try to make playoffs this year. No. But going over our draft, we were the first pick in the draft this season. The last time I had first pick was, I think, either season 2 or 3. I think it was season 3 where I got, I think it was Mega Venu round 1, pick 1. I think it was that. And the other time I was first pick was season 1 where I got Greninja back when X and Y just started. Yeah. So, only good things, right? Greninja, Mega Venu. So, getting into our first pick. This is definitely one of my favorite mons to use. I've used this mon at least, I think this is going to be like my 4th time using this mon in some sort of drafter league format. And that mon is going to be Mega Latios. And now, we allow Mega Kangaskhan and Mega Mawile in this league. So, why did I choose Mega Latios round 1 when Mega Kang and Mega Mawile were still there? 1. Mega Mawile, I don't like them on. I really don't think it's that great unless you have a team that can support it really well. And I didn't want to draft a team that was just full Mega Mawile support because I don't like the idea of doing that. Right now, the draft league meta, in my opinion, is very fast, very offensive mon focused. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here by picking up the Mega Latios in round 1. It has a decent speed stat. It goes up to 350 timid. It has a ridiculous special attack stat. It gets both Calm Mind and Dragon Dance. It gets Recovery. It gets Defog. It has a great coverage in its move pool. I think it's honestly just an amazing mon. And I was heavily debating either getting Mega Kangaskhan or Mega Latios round 1. And my big reasoning for choosing this over Mega Kang is, 1, Mega Kang doesn't get S-Toss this season. It's Mega Kang without S-Toss. And 2, I wanted to go with a mon that I just had more experience with, that I knew how to build around and use more. So I thought that would be better than going with Mega Kangaskhan, and I kind of went against my mantra, because my mantra is just like, I want to use at least everything once in league format, and Mega Latios is my 4th time, so. But I do think that Mega Latios is a great mon. It may be questionable round 1, pick 1, but I don't really think so. I think it's definitely an early round 1 pick. I really like the mon. I think it's very good, very versatile. So that is what we're going to be rolling with this season. Now, as for pick number 2, the wheel pick, for our first pick on wheel number 2, we are going to be picking up Mamoswine. Now, why Mamoswine? Mamoswine, first of all, I've been wanting to use Mamoswine in draft for a very long time. Every time I'm on a round and I say I want to get Mamo, it always gets taken from me. And and Mamo is a very scary mon in draft format, in my opinion. A lot of teams, as they're building, and I've talked to people about this a lot, and I've seen in my own drafts a lot of teams are weak to ice when they first start building. So Mamo is kind of like a good pick on that, or other ice types. But I honestly just think Mamo, it's pretty slow. It's only base 80, but it has such a nice attack stat. It has really good stab. I think it's a very strong mon. I really do, and it's a great rocker. If I want to use it for that purpose, but I do really think Mamoswine is a good mon, and it has some good synergy with Mega Latios. Especially when we look at the next pick right here, with Azumarill being our round 3 pick. Now, I have drafted Azumarill before, and I've seen Azumarill get drafted before in recent sort of draft league meta, and it's not great, but I think that that Azumarill in this sense kind of fits with the rest of the team because it gives us the water. It gives us 2 water resist for Mamo. It gives an ice resist for Lottie. We have 2 electric resists. We have an electric resist and an electric immunity already with Latias and Mamoswine. So it's kind of like good weakness immunity type synergy right there, and it's pretty much kind of an OU thing. I remember I used to have an OU team where it was Latios, Mamo, Azu that I used in OU. It was a pretty decent core with some other mons, but that's pretty much why I drafted it. And Azumarill also has the potential to be a great Z-mon. It gets Z Belly Drum. It gets really strong Z Fairy and Z Water Stab. Pretty much outside of that, like not much, but it has the potential to be a good Z move user, and it's a very strong mon that can hit hard, and there are some very crafty Azumarill sets that people can come up with that a lot of people don't expect, because not many people usually see very exciting, very new, interesting Azumarill sets. Usually it's just BP or Band, or maybe like once in a while someone brings like a weird like Sap Sipper or Rindoberry set, but I think that we can definitely come up with some use for Azu on this team, and I think it definitely does fit well with the Mega Latios. I think it's a very good, hard-hitting, good priority mon. Now, for our 4th round pick, I was very skeptical that this pick would not... Hey, sorry about that. I'm just going to kind of continue it on here. I'm sorry if this is really unprofessional, but I'm kind of on limited time for this because I am just recording this on the day that I have to upload. I just came back from vacation, so I'm just gonna go with this. So, round 4. I did not think that this mon would come back to me. It is going to be Thunderous Therian. This mon, I think, is actually really great. It's definitely one of my favorite mons. Pretty much to use. I really just like using this mon. It has a lot of good coverage. It has a nice speed tier. It has a good attack, special attack stat. 145 attack. That's actually really nice. It has decent speed. It's not as good as Thunderous Eye, which gets Prankster and Defiant, and also has a higher speed tier with a little less special attack, but a little bit more attack. I think it has. But I think this is definitely a great mon. It also has the Volt Absorb, so we have another electric resist for that Azumarill. That is amazing. We do get another ice weakness with that though, which is fine, and another rock, but it's all good because we're gonna keep building around that. And I just think Thundy T 4th round is a great value pick. I seriously did not expect this mon to come back to me throughout that whole draft, but it did, and I think it was a very good pickup for the team. And it is also going to be our Z-Move user. It can have Z Psychic, Z Sludge Wave, Z Superpower, Z Thunderbolt, Z Volt Switch. It gets Nasty Plot, it gets Agility, it has double... Like, this mon is just amazing, and it's going to be a Z-Mon, and it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. I have very high hopes with Thunderous T. I've used it before. I've been pretty successful with it, and I just think it's going to be a great addition to the team. Now, going on to our round 5 pick, you can see sort of like the kind of plan I'm going into here with this draft. And with round 5, we're going to be getting Fortress. Now, Fortress, I'm going to say this about Fortress, I do not rate highly at all in draft too much. I don't really think it's a great mon. I think it's stopped by too much. It's very easy to read, it's very easy to set up on, very easy to predict, which is why I don't really like it that much. But I'm going to be, with this team, with Fortress, it's going to act as a steal, but mostly it's just going to be my hazard setter. Now, Fortress gets all the hazard. It gets Spikes, it gets Toxic Spikes, it gets Stealth Rock. And it has Volt Switch for momentum, it has Jar Ball, it gets Earthquake. It actually has a decent move pool, which is nice. Like, I still don't like the mon, but it's still pretty nice. It has Sturdy, it has Overcoat, good abilities, but mainly what we're going to be using for is we're going to be using it for Hazard Stack, and we're going to use the Mega Latios, Stun Team, Mamoswine, Azumarill, all the other mons. It's going to be focused around Hazard Stack offense. And I actually think that against a couple of teams, I can definitely take advantage of this, because there are teams that do have few to very little hazard removers, because some people, when they look through their drafts, they don't really, sometimes they don't notice, or they notice too late and they can't get like a good defogger or a good spinner. And against those teams, we're going to have pretty much a decent field day around them. We're going to do pretty good against them, because I do see like a bunch of teams, they only have like one defogger, or like they have like one spinner, they have like one way of hazard removal. So for drafting hazard stack offense, when that is when that's happening, that's actually like it's I don't think it's a bad move. So we're gonna take Fortress, we're gonna run with it, and we're going to freaking bring Trick Room Power Trick one day. If I get a Trick Room on, do it. I'm doing it. Doing it. But I do think it's going to be very good. Hazard stack offense for this team, I think, is going to be really nice, because if things get weakened for Mega Latias, or if things get weakened for a setup Thunder T, then it'll be pretty easy to run through someone's team if everything, when it comes in, just takes residual damage over and over again without the hazard removal. It'll be really good for us. Now, getting into the next pick, round 6, we are going to be picking up the one, the only, the mighty, the Sacred Fire, Entei. Now, I didn't want Entei originally. I'm just going to say that. I wanted another Mon that, just like Mamoswine, I've been wanting to use it in draft format for so long. I've been wanting to just pick it up and to use it, and I've tried to make trades the past couple seasons for this Mon because I like it so much. I wanted to get Arcanine. I wanted to get the other Flame Doge, but it was taken by somebody else in an earlier round, and I needed a Fire type pretty badly, so I just went up and I saw that Entei was still there, and I've used them on before, and it's good, but it's kind of one-sided. There's so little kind of sets you can run on Entei, really, but I took it. I'm gonna run with it. Extreme speed, more priority with Azumarill, Aqua Jet, and Mamoswine, Ice Shard. With the hazard stack is going to be pretty ridiculous, because in the late game, if everything's low and it has to come in on like 3 layers of spikes and rocks, or 2 layers of spikes and rocks, or spikes and rocks, then extreme speed is going to be a very good move for kill potential, especially if the Entei is banded, and it's going to be really fun. Now, moving on into round 7, we are going to be picking up the one, the only, the Karate Master Mian Xiao. Now, I do believe I had Mian Xiao last season, and it was a pretty fun Mon to use. It was pretty okay. Its move pool could definitely be a little bit better, but again, with the sort of fast meta of draft, I do think the Mian Xiao is really good, and it hits really hard. It gets Reckless, it gets Regenerator, 2 very good abilities, especially if I want to do a little Volt turn with the Thunder T on the hazards. That's pretty good, I think. Another thing with Mian Xiao does get a good setup moves. It gets Swords Dance. It gets Calm Mind, I actually think it does. So maybe we'll bring special Mian Xiao one day soon. But I do think it is very hard, very fascinating Mon, and with the hazards up, it is going to be able to do a lot, especially if it's like a Banded Reckless High Jump Kick, or if it's just Regenerate if I want to go for like a Life Orb U-turn or something. You know, I think this Mon does have a lot of potential to be very good, and it does have a lot of potential to be very versatile. Now, going into round 8, we are going to end our Fire Water Grass core of Azumarill, Entei, and this Mon, we are going to get Chestnut. Now, yes, that is double fighting back to back right there, but another thing with Chestnut is Chestnut does get more hazard stack. It gets spikes, and it is also a pretty good ground resist. And with my team, Chestnut is more of an offensive Mon, less than a defensive Mon, which is like my favorite way to use Chestnut. I never liked using Chestnut defensively. I've always liked running like AV offense or Chestnut, or like I've always wanted to do like BD Chestnut. This is what I would do on the ladder, and I would fail. Good times though, really, really, really good times. But Chestnut I really like here. It is a good ground resist. It's a good ground resist, especially for things like Zygarde, Zygarde 50, Zygarde 10%, just Earthquake in general, ground moves in general. It is double fang, so we do have a bit of a bird weakness, but we do kind of cover that with Thundy and Fortress right now, and we are going to pick up some stuff in the later rounds to be able to cover that as well. But Chestnut, with utility moves like Taunt and Spikes, and being a pretty good offensive tank, I think is going to be pretty decent for the team, and it does, once again, finish the Fire, Water, Grass core, which we kind of needed. Between this, I was also thinking of getting Virizion, which maybe in retrospect might be better, but I do think Chestnut does have potential to be very good on this team, and I'm excited to be looking forward to use it. I'm really looking forward to use it. I just want an excuse to bring Belly Drum Chestnut, honestly. Like that's all I want. I just want an excuse to bring Belly Drum Chestnut. But round 9, we are going to get a pretty. I've never seen this mon get drafted before, but I do think it actually can be pretty decent. And now I say this a lot because I draft a lot of unused low tier shite. Remember Regigigas? Yeah, you guys remember that. I'm just gonna say this about all the low point mons that I think that they're viable, or like the mons that no one ever uses. I'm just gonna say that they're viable. Yeah, that's because that's me. But round 9, we are going to be picking up the Kimono Dancer Ghost herself, Frost Lass. That is right, Frost Lass. The opposite of Glory, Frost Lass. But my reasoning for drafting Frost Lass here is, 1, it's a ghost type. It's a spin blocker. So that's a good thing that we needed. I could have maybe went something like Miss Magius. Maybe actually would have been nice and nice on this team. I might look at actually that actually sounds really nice on Miss Magius. Now that I'm looking at my team again, I'm like, what can I replace everything with? But Frostlass is going to be here. Frostlass gets more priority with more Ice Shard. It is another Ice type, so that does raise the fire weakness a little bit, but we do have the Mega Latios, we have Thick Fountain, the Mamoswine, we have Azumarill, we have Entei, so I don't think fire is going to be bothering us that much anytime soon. And we do have Dark Resist with Azumarill and Manchef Chestnut, stuff like that. But Frostlass gets Spikes. Spikes good on this team. As you can see, we just have a bunch of goddamn spikers. But Frostlass I actually do think is good. It's pretty fast. It's a decently fast mon. It has a pretty high special attack stat. It gets decent utility moves. It gets Hex, it gets Willow, it gets T-Wave Toxic. I know a lot of things get that. But it does get Hex, which is really nice to go with the status move. It gets Destiny Bond. It's a pretty fast Destiny Bond user, which I think is also pretty nice if I ever want to, if I'm ever able to debond on maybe like a threat or something like that, and I can just take it out like that. That would be pretty nice. Again, it's just very strong. It's a spin blocker. It has more hazards on it. If I ever want to bring it as like a utility mon, I probably will bring it mostly as an offensive variant. But it does have the potential to run a lot of utility on it. And I think this mon on this team can actually be pretty good. Now, going up to round 10, we are going to be picking up the fiercest fossil king himself, Aerodactyl. Now, Aerodactyl is a very fast, very strong mon. It is ridiculously fast. It is one of the fastest mons. And I think regular Aerodactyl compared to Mega Aerodactyl is a little bit underrated. Regular Aerodactyl has a pretty high attack stat. It has a really high speed stat. It hits really hard. And I think on a team where all the mons are going to be switching into a lot of residual damage, potentially it's going to have a very high impact. It has decent moves. It has good stab. It has it gets Aerial Ace. It gets Stone Edge. It gets Earthquake. You know, it pretty much gets everything you need. It gets Defog. It gets Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock's more hazards right there. Yeah, we like hazards. But you know, looking at this team, honestly, looking at this team right now, I'm definitely like, what would this be like? But Aerodactyl, I think, is going to be very good. Hone Claws, be pretty nice. Unnerve, make people not use their berries. I think it gets Unnerve. I'm pretty sure it gets Unnerve. Yeah, I think it gets Unnerve. But I do think Arrow's going to be good just with the speed stack and attack stat alone. It can be a very good sweeper in the late game. and I think it's going to fit in just nicely. And finally, with the last pick to round up the draft. Now, I'm going to be honest with you here, guys. I mean pick a lot, but this is not a mean pick. Alright? This is a legitimate, it is a legitimate goddamn draft pick. We're getting Kling Klang. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. You heard me. We're getting Kling Klang. Kling Klang is honestly like one of my favorite mons to use in NU. I love that thing so much. If you guys don't know, I used to be I used to climb in NU a lot, NUPU, and I got to top of the ladder a couple times. But Kling Klang was definitely one of those mons where it's like I loved to use it just because it shit on so much in the tier. And now I'm going to use it to shit on so much in draft format. But I think Kling Klang is just an interesting one. Outside from just Shift Gear, Gear Grind, it gets Trick Room. Not a lot of people notice Kling Klang does get Trick Room. And on my team, it may not look that great, but I can Trick Room into an Azumarill, or I could run like min speed on like a Chestnut, and it could become suddenly just like a fast attack. I think Kling Klang has a lot of potential. I think it has a lot of different possible sets that I can run, and it's just a second steel type. If I don't ever want to bring Fortress and I just bring hazards on something else, because there are honestly like some things that Kling Klang can do that are actually really nice. Like the Shift Gear Gear Grind set is actually not that bad, and this thing also gets like Wild Charge and it gets Volt Switch, and I think it honestly can put in some work on a hazard stack team where everything gets dwindled down pretty quickly. So that is pretty much going to be the team for this season of the NPL, Season 7. I'm honestly just laughing right now because I'm doing this and I'm like literally seeing like, hey, you know what? I could replace this with that. I can get a Verizzi and I can get him. What the hell was I even talking about before when I was mentioning Frostlass? Mismagius. Mismagius is a good. Mismagius is actually a really good mon. I love Mismagius. It's such a good NU mon. And I actually, if I look back at it, I'm gonna be like, I want this thing. But, you know, and I actually may consider it. I think I maybe have too much, but this is going to be our current team for NPL Season 7 of the draft. I think it's pretty decent. I think we can get a couple wins with this team. If anything, they're just a little things that I need to fix with it. But I think this is actually a pretty decent team. Compared to the other teams, I definitely feel like it ranks a little lower, but I think we can definitely make this team shine. I think Mega Latias and Thunderstorm can definitely put in a lot of work. I think Mamoswine can put in a lot of work. I think Azumarill can put in some work. I think the hazard stack of this team is actually really nice, considering the low amount of defoggers and hazard removers that some team have. So I'm looking forward to using this team. I think it'll be fun. And I think that is pretty much the end of our draft analysis for this video. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please beat up that like button. Leave a comment in the comment section below and tell me how I did. This is one of my first times doing this. You know, I don't really know how to do this kind of thing. Subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more Chicago Bewears NPL content coming to you soon when we start the first week of the league. And make sure to go check out the NPL channel also. Check out all the other coaches, check out their draft analysis videos, and go show some love and support for the NPL. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you next time.